traffic jam, we're working on it.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Lisa Hunt. I'm the rector of St. Stephen's Episcopal Church and also president of the school board of St. Stephen's Episcopal School. We're before you today to ask for you to grant a 1,000-foot alcohol-free zone around our school. One of the privileges of being a school within the city boundaries is that private schools can come before you to ask for 1,000 feet for safety for our school children. We run a school 18 months to 18 years at St. Stephen's in the Montrose area. It's a very developed area of the city, as you know, highly trafficked with lots of different kinds of businesses claiming presence in our community. Within this past year, we had a death across the street from St. Stephen's from a drunk driver that ran out of West Alabama and into a house, killing a person in our neighborhood, right across the street from our church and school. Our campus is situated in multiple buildings, so that children walk from building to building and cross streets that are often very busy in the course of the day. This made our school board very concerned about the safety of our children, and we wanted to avail ourselves of the safety measures that are available to us under the law. So we come before you today with the support of our district Councilmember Cohen, to ask for you to support and grant this status to our school. Thank you.
Ma'am?
Oh, sorry.
Reverend Hunt, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mayor.
I'm proud parent of two students who previously attended St. Stephen's. It's an excellent school, and I'm very familiar with the situation. There are some council members in the queue. Councilmember Payton.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming here and thanks for what you do. I have some concern about this. I know that it does affect property rights, and I was seeking information on problems that may have arisen. Of course, you talked about that. You didn't talk about where the driver may have come from. Was he from one of the local establishments, or he or she driving down the street?
He was driving down the street.
Is that the only? He's just driving down the street, so you don't know whether he or she may have originated in one of the establishments?
I wouldn't make that claim, sir. I don't know where he originated. I know that he was driving under the influence, and I know somebody died as a result of that accident.
So you're making this request without knowing whether it might
Actually, that's
originate?
pretty irrelevant to our claim. Our claim is that and Mr. Cordell will speak to this, the intent, as we understand it, of the legislature was to provide safety for school children.
Yeah.
And the mechanism for us to avail ourselves of that protection is to come before you. So that's what we're doing today.
It also affects property rights, what you're asking for, and I just wondered, have you given any notice? I know we had a request from St. Agnes that I passed around a copy, and they sent a notice out about 3 months before they asked for this to give the property owners a chance to respond.
Yes, sir. We have contacted. In fact, you should, and Cohen may have copies of letters of support from our neighborhood associations. St. Stephen's.
That's not what I asked for. Have you contacted the businesses?
No, sir. My understanding is it won't impact them.
That what?
It will not impact existing businesses.
Well, it will affect what they can do with their business. I mean, with their property.
My understanding, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so my understanding is that notice is not part of the current statute as it's been approved by the Council of Houston. So as the current statute reads, the onus is not on us to do that, and so we have not done that.
So the law doesn't require it, and you don't feel like you have any obligation that would be fair to notify.
We think our obligation is to our students and their safety.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cohen? Thank you, Mayor. I just want to touch on what the Councilmember said. So you have met with several of the civic clubs?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is their position?
They have been unanimous in their support.
Okay, for
the 1,000-foot around our school property.
Right, and are you also aware that there are other private schools that have been granted this 1,000-foot ruling in the last few years.
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay, and my understanding is that these were granted, particularly recently for St. Agnes and Straight Jesuit, in 2011. I think, except for those of us that are new here, those council members that were on the panel voted unanimously for.
That's my understanding as well.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for being here
Yes.
and for sharing your thoughts on this. This is a process that is available to anyone that can that falls into the criteria for this alcohol-free zone, correct? Is there a prescribed process that you followed, or at least you followed the process
Yes, sir.
outlined by the city?
Yes,
So
sir.
this isn't something that is
This
unique
isn't
to your
unusual. No, that's
location.
correct.
It's not unusual. Anything else you want to add on that? Add about that in terms of, did you meet the criteria you feel in terms of having a child care facility or children?
We've met extensively with members of the city who are charged with making sure that we would follow within the guidelines of the law. And we're here today because they agreed to bring it forward. So my assumption is that the city's comfortable with those definitions.
So just to be clear to the public and to myself, I guess, the process has already, it's a prescribed process, correct?
Yes,
It wasn't
sir.
created by you or for you
That's
or
correct.
any type
It's not
of
special to
variance or
St.
exemptions or
Stephen's.
anything. You're following the process that's
Yes, sir.
provided.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Councilmember, to answer your question, we have granted this exemption or prohibition 6 times previously, including 2 times last year for private schools. Councilmember Davis, is there a motion to extend time?
So moved.
Discussion, favoring, opposed, motion carries. Councilmember Davis.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I know you did your survey of the surrounding businesses or the property owners. Were there available or open lots around the school?
As you may know, Montrose is a very developed area of the city. There are very few lots that are open with a lack of development. I'm not a city planner, and so in terms of our block of West Alabama and our blocks of Solar, there are not many lots that are under.
Okay, no, I understand the capacity on the Montrose West area. I was just saying, you know, how some restaurants or some businesses open up on the side street, so we're talking about 1,000 square feet around the area, 1,000 around the area. I just thought maybe you had taken the time to look at some of the potential businesses or potential, actually the people that you would affect. But I understand your concern is with your students, but just to know what you were coming up against, so that's why I asked.
As you may, and Mr. Cordell will touch on this later, there's already a 1,000-foot zone around the near middle school that incorporates a significant amount of this property already that we've approved. The area that St. Stephen's would be drawing on is predominantly residential as you go into the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar.
No, that's okay, you don't have to be. No, that's why I'm answering your question. So the main development has been along West Alabama, and those businesses, in my understanding of the law, are grandfathered in and would not be affected. The surrounding area is residential, so I don't think it would impact them then.
Thank you.
Councilmember Ray.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And you hit on my point exactly. There's an ice house in Alabama, and there's some restaurants in that area. I used to live on West Main over a few blocks and was within walking distance of St. Stephen's. And you're correct, there are homes, maybe even deed restricted homes, best I can tell, right around where you are. And there are a few restaurants that probably serve alcohol. I guess what I would say or think about this is that while I think some of the properties may have some viability in some commercial aspect, most of them really are homes. But the purpose of this kind of restriction, where we have it pretty regularly and as a matter of course with public schools, is to keep kids from passing by places where folks are under the influence and might not be completely safe, or perhaps they might see something they shouldn't, or whatever that the founding fathers and mothers thought was important. And if the bottom line is about the safety of children, it really is about the safety of children and keeping them, protected in whatever way we can find to be appropriate. There are drunk drivers everywhere, and there really isn't a whole lot we can do about a random situation. But as far as the surrounding atmosphere, you can't control that, and I think that we should. So I just want to remind everyone that if someone's already in existence there and they have a business and that business has alcohol, that business is grandfathered.